Ahoy there, listeners, and welcome to the latest instalment of the Captain's Horror Meltdown. My name is Cammie. I will be your captain on this journey, and as ever, I'm joined by Jon.
I'm excited. What's it going to be?
By Jon, the cabin boy.
The cabin boy?
Yeah, you've been demoted this time.
What's he do? Just give out hand jobs or something?
I think so. I think he just sort of helps people with all the shit things that he needs to do. They need to do.
Oh,
maybe like makes the beds and cleans the decks and stuff like that.
Probably.
While everyone else is having fun.
Having a party. So I'm probably cleaning the toilet.
Yeah.
Probably with my own toothbrush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
I'm already a little bit down about this episode.
Well, the problem was that I completely forgot to look into different jobs, and it just came to me about 2 minutes before we started that I better think of something fast.
Is that because you like cabin boys?
No. Yes. Actually, I don't know if cabin boy does exist, but I think it does. I don't know.
It sounds right.
Yeah, totally. Who cares? Anyway, thanks. Thanks for joining us. We're on our we're starting to pick up some steam in our journey. We are,
and letting off some steam.
Yeah, 5 episodes. This is our 5th episode in our voyage into the unknown, meandering through the annals of horror.
Although as we record this, we've still not even released one episode.
We've not. No, I know.
No,
but
we're building up a surplus. I think is probably the best way.
Yeah. Well, what do we reckon? I reckon we'll have 6 in the bag by the time the first one comes out.
Yep. Which is pointless chat because that will have already happened.
Exactly. Everyone.
Oh, who cares?
Oh, God. Fun times. So, before we get on to this week's movie, has anything exciting happened to you recently?
Apart from becoming a cabin boy, not a great deal. I suppose the biggest thing that's happened is Alexander started school.
Yeah, shit, man. Big move.
Yeah. It's been pretty good so far, I have to say. It's I was expecting a few meltdowns. There has not been any. And I've witnessed other child meltdowns, which are like, they're quite tough to watch, to be honest. Because you feel for that person. You know when you didn't have children and you saw a child meltdown, you were just like, fuck it, whatever. But now you're kind of like,
it was just an annoyance.
Yeah,
you feel bad.
Now you're sort of like with that person going, what a nightmare. This is horrendous. But it's been fairly incident free, I have to say.
Excellent.
I've got an app on my phone that it's got like a stepometer sort of business. And even considering I don't have my phone on me all the time, I have traversed in the last 7 days 68 kilometres.
What?
Yes, 68 kilometres. Now,
the school's quite far from your house, though.
It's not that far, really, but when you consider you go there, then you come back, and then you go there again, and then you come back again, that's 5 kilometres a day, out with any other walking you might be doing.
Shit, man, it's got to be some good exercise.
You would think. I mean, one of the massive kilometres was me walking back pissed from a show at the festival last weekend.
Was it like Doc's legendary journey recently, where actually the distance should have been half a mile, but his drunken mind took him on a sort of 5 mile detour, staggering through bushes and stuff. Yeah,
pretty much. This will be a shortcut. It's not. I can't stand waiting in the rain for transport. I think I got to the taxi rank after this show and there was at least 100 people in it. There was no taxis in the taxi rank and it was pissing down with rain.
Festival, Edinburgh Festival time, you should say.
Yeah, well, it's August, isn't it? Pisses down with rain. It's classics.
And there's just thousands of ball bags everywhere.
Yeah, and I got to that point, I'd much rather just walk home in the rain than stand waiting in the rain for half an hour. I have to say the last 24 hours have been fairly scatological, I have to say.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
For you or for the kids?
For the kids.
Oh, God. There seems to be some sort of bug going around. We've all had it in our house. And,
yeah, I think, well, I picked up...
My in-laws have got it at the minute.
Oh, Jesus, lovely. Hope we don't get it through Skype. We were halfway back from school one day, yesterday, and Alexander's like, Daddy, I need a poo. I was like, oh man, this is a real, what do you do here? Either you get home as soon as possible or you just shit in the street. Those are your two options. But we had to go and pick up Cormac from nursery, which is not a massive detour. But yeah, he's like, can you hold it in? He's like, yes, I think I can. And we went to nursery, where he has probably shat 1 million times before he left there to go for school. Said not a word. And we literally this is not a word of a lie, I literally opened the front door of the house and he was like, Daddy, I've had a poo. Oh my God, you're having a laugh. Had to just like lift him up the stairs into the bathroom, remove the bath mat, replace that with like a paper, and just start the process. And then this evening, the boys were having a bath.
Oh,
and, yeah, I know. And I was potting in the kitchen, and Alexander was like, Daddy, there's a hole in the bath. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, there can't be. He goes, no, there's a hole in the bath. And I went through, and it wasn't a hole, it was one of Cormac's shits that was just sitting gleefully at the bottom of the bath. And at that point, it's like, man, this has been quite a hardcore week. And now there's this lots of shit on top. So, not pleasant stuff that's happened to me. I enjoyed my festival outing, which was actually, we had a really nice bit of kind-heartedness in the festival. Stevie had booked the tickets, got to the box office, picked up the tickets, went into the show, and the lassie was like, these tickets are for tomorrow night's performance. And Stevie's, they must have given us the wrong tickets at the box office. It's like, Stevie, I'm fairly sure the whole process is automated, that when you give them your card, they put it into a machine, it checks any bookings that have been made with that card and spits out the tickets. And I would notice that everyone else has got in without a problem. So I'm not sure the box office was the problem in this case. But there was a guy there, came over just goes, the guy bought 4 tickets, one for myself and 3 family members. They've decided not to come, so just take my tickets.
Oh, that's lovely. And then, what did Stevie do with the tickets for the next day?
I can't even remember now, but...
He probably ate them after he drank his 2 pint.
Probably fucking sold them.
Totally. Didn't give that guy any money.
No, I gave him a salute and a handshake, because I was what a lovely thing. Have you been rocking anything since?
Nothing particularly interesting. As we started school again, P2. That's all fine. That was all good. I got a whole pig's head the other day.
Yes, yeah.
It's now in my fridge, and I am going to roast it.
All right.
I think I was going to do it in the barbecue, but I think I'm just going to roast the whole head. Ben, who gave me the head, assures me that the cheek and gills, which I've like whenever he's done a whole roast pig, I've enjoyed the gill and cheek. But he's like, yeah, they are by far the best bit of meat. Yeah, he's actually told me about a new muscle. That's actually around the front of the cheek. That's between 2 layers of fat. 2 layers of fat that he reckons is the finest bit of meat on the pig.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I'm going to do that. So I've got a actually massive pig's head in the fridge. It takes up a massive amount of room. Like basically half of my fridge has a pig's head in it. Huge pig. Nice. It's like sort of got a grimace, like its teeth and everything. It's quite wild. So that's fun. Also, I think I probably mentioned it last time, but the other day I found a massive box of VHS tapes in my garage. I don't know if I did or not, but
I think you mentioned once that, like,
old school.
Some of them have gone bad or something.
Mouldy. Yeah. So I'm now a little bit further down the way with what I'm going to do with them. I found out how to clean them.
Okay.
How to get the mould off, which is good.
How do you do that?
I'm going to have to buy a burner VHS player, basically.
Right.
But any charity shop in Gala is going to have a VHS player, probably.
Well, I would say probably Argos has probably still got them in Gala.
Yeah, it probably has, actually. Yeah, totally high tech, brand new. Probably like 300 quid though.
Yeah.
I think what you need to do is you need to get a tape in.
Right.
Fast forward it to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Bang. jolts the tape out of the machine, and that usually knocks most of the mould off, and then it's a matter of opening the tape up, tipping the mould out, and cleaning the top of the furled up bit of tape of the reel with isopropyl alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah.
If anyone was under any disillusion to Cammie's commitment to ridiculous dead formats containing ridiculous movies, there you go.
Well, excitingly, I also the other day found a SCART lead, so I can actually probably use my my video player again. Although surely there's no way my amp's going to have a SCART connection in the back, is it?
No.
And my projector's on the roof now. My projector does have a SCART lead. Oh, actually, that's other exciting news that involves you as well. I had a screening of The Enforcers 2.
Oh, yeah.
On the projector with the original Enforcers.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Yes, I saw the picture.
Yeah, it was great, and much fun it was too. But we'll get into the
Had they seen the
future,
DVD restoration?
They had not, and they were fucking absolutely amazed when the title card came up with the music and the you'd split off the outtakes and everything. Absolutely top notch. Sorry, we've got off the beaten track a little bit there, folks.
As
but
always.
Yeah, basically this is a short film, 35 minutes that we a big group of us filmed at school. Actually, 1994.
Yep. Many years ago.
It was the summer after we left school, I think, before we all left to go on our separate ways. I guess we better get on with the film. So here we are, episode 5, and we are going to be talking about Bone Tomahawk.
Yes.
2015 Western horror.
Mm-hmm.
Strange genre.
It is.
Fucking love it. Directed by S. Craig Zahler, and like most of the films that we've covered so far, a first feature.
It is.
Fucking unbelievable.
It is.
Because I'm just going to say straight away, I fucking love this film.
I mean, as soon as I finished watching it last night, my immediate thought was favourite film of the season so far.
Oh yeah, totally. So far, absolutely.
Okay, before we get into the film, let's have a little clip just to give you a bit of atmosphere. We'll fill you in on the storyline as we go, but in this clip, the town has been raided and Matthew Foxy's wife, Lily Simmons, has been taken, and here's the townsfolk meeting up on their course of action, deciding what to do.
I retrieved our expert. You know who did this?
There's only one group that hunts with these.
Who?
They don't have a name.
What kind of tribe doesn't have a name?
One that doesn't have a language. Cave dwellers.
You know where they are?
I have a general idea.
You'll take us to them?
I won't.
Because you're an Indian?
Because I don't want to get killed.
You're afraid of your own kind?
They're not my kind. They're a spoiled bloodline of inbred animals who rape and eat their own mothers.
Well, what are they?
Troglodytes.
What do they look like?
A man like you would not distinguish them from Indians, even though they're something else entirely.
Why would they tear that stable boy up, leave him, but take the others away?
They don't eat Negroes.
Do they think they're poisonous?
Chicory. You'll show us where they're at?
You'll be killed if you enter their territory.
That wasn't the question. Show us where they're at.
We won't be dissuaded.
Bring me a map of the Western Range.
We got no survey map.
This empty area is a mountain range. Forbidden territory has been for centuries. Somewhere in the northwestern part of it is a place my people call the Valley of the Starving Men. Troglodytes are said to live there.
That's days from here.
How many of them do you think there are?
It won't matter. You have no chance against any number of them.
I'm riding out with Mr. O'Dwyer because there isn't a choice for either of us.
What I will, before we actually get into it, what I'll say straight off the bat, I think I mentioned before that I've got an interesting story to say about this.
That's right, yeah.
So, when the film came out, basically several people that I know saw it quite early doors in its cinema release and had said, oh, you're going to fucking love the film. Bone Tomahawk, you should definitely check it out. Try and get to cinema. If you can't get to cinema, then as soon as it comes out, you should watch it. It'll be right up your street. So one of my colleagues at work one day goes, man, you got to see this. Someone sent me this wild clip from a film on YouTube. You got to come and check this out. And I was like, all right, went over to his desk. He's like, yeah, it's called Bone Tomahawk. I was like, oh yeah, now everyone says it's supposed to be good. So he proceeds to press play, and it plays the big scene at the end. Basically.
Oh, fuck.
Basically, it starts off in the cave, with them all in the cave, and the guy getting split in half. That was the first thing I saw. So I then, when I actually got to see the film, was kind of expecting it to be like that the whole way through.
Yeah.
And then basically sat for an hour and a half going, what the fuck is going on here? And then realised that basically I'd essentially seen the ending of the film. Yeah, totally. So my first viewing of it was a bit tainted. Didn't really get it. But this last night was my second viewing, and holy shit, it was fucking sweet. Absolutely loved it.
I suppose when you watched it for the first time and the opening, well, in fact, the very opening shot, you must have thought, oh yes, this is just going to be a full-out gore fest. Because
totally.
The opening shot is just like, wow.
Oh, it's horrendous.
Wow.
Yeah. Totally. Well, we just quickly, as always, like if you're just joining us for the first time, then we are, this is a definite
spoiler city.
Spoiler zone.
Yep. Spoiler city.
We're just going to be talking about the films. So, we just quickly run through the gist of Bone Tomahawk. I would say if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't seen Bone Tomahawk, maybe it's tickled your fancy, but you haven't watched it yet, get it watched. Just get it watched.
Yeah.
It's great.
Don't hesitate. I hesitated over it for ages, and then, well, we'll get into why later, and then I think you just, I always kind of, if I'm at a bit of a loss, I'll ask for recommendations for films on one of the, WhatsApp signal groups
Chats.
Or whatever. And you were just like, Bone Tomahawk is on Netflix, watch it fucking immediately. And I did.
Yeah.
And yeah. So that was my first initiation into it.
Well, how would you summarise it? So the film, it's essentially a Western. Mm-hmm. Men on a mission in the West.
Fairly classic sort of scenario.
Classic. Yeah. A motley crew, oddball, mixed characters getting together to go and rescue the woman that's been kidnapped. But it just takes a total curve at the end into total horror territory as well.
Yeah.
And becomes effectively like a sort of weird cannibal, pills have eyes.
Yep.
Apeshit film at the end.
Yeah,
but
huge left turn.
We start off with a couple of banditos. I guess they're banditos. They're not. I know they're not Mexican, but a couple of bad guys.
But again,
killing some innocents.
Famous faces, man. Well, certainly recognised faces.
Yeah, totally, man. Totally. Sid Haig.
Sid Haig.
He's got like a great face.
House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects.
Yep.
David Arquette.
David Arquette.
Jesus Christ.
Of Scream. Oh, well, yeah. Of lots of fame, but particularly, more down the horror path. So, yeah, famously of Scream.
Yep.
Scream franchise. But, yeah, they're badasses. They're dicks. They've just killed a whole load of innocent people. They stumble onto the land of, I guess, at the time, we just think they're badass Indians.
Yep.
Disrupt their
do we have to call them Native Americans now?
Native Americans, yes.
There we go. Okay.
I've just been working with Native Americans as well.
God, he's such a racist.
I know. Well, at least, God, yeah, one of my sort of older colleagues referred to them as Red Indians, which was
wow. Okay, cool.
Swiftly put down. But I think actually because some of the guys were from Canada, and we had to call they're called First Nation.
Okay.
Anyway, these guys who eventually in the film we get to know as troglodytes.
Yep.
Which is a nice touch. Kill Sid Haig. Arquette escapes.
Yep.
To a town. Acts very suspiciously in said town. Gets shot by the sheriff in the leg for being suspicious. And then while he's getting treated in jail, the troglodytes turn up, kill him, steal a couple of people, take them hostage.
Yep.
And then we've basically got a classic Men on a Mission movie to go and save Patrick Wilson's wife.
Yep. As always, I'll probably just refer to the characters as the actor's name because that's what I like to do.
Yeah. So then basically they go off, and then we've got like it's not a short film.
No, it's not. It's not.
2 hours 10 minutes.
I was a little bit nervous about putting it on the other night. It was like, oh man, because I didn't start watching it till about 10:30. I was like, oh, shit, is this sensible?
Fairly zips by though. I think.
It really does, man. I mean, that's its greatest asset.
Well, the dialogue's great. The characters are great.
Yeah,
it's just
enough,
a joy to watch.
Just enough incident along their road of travel to find to find the woman that just keep
Lily Simmons is the actress.
Yeah, who's actually Lily. I've got to be honest. Like, Lily Simmons is not someone I was struggling to recognise her, but I couldn't recognise where we're from, and I think it must be what was the TV series?
Banshee. I know her from Banshee.
That's it. I just couldn't figure it out, which is a great series.
Top quality madness. It was recommended to me by someone that said, if you love punching and you love tits, you will love Banshee.
And they weren't wrong.
Well, they weren't wrong at all. It's true. Loads of punching, loads of tits. Fantastic. Yeah, she was from that. I actually noticed that when I was looking at her resume. Listen to me. What a bellend. When I was looking at her looking her up on IMDb, that she's currently filming The Purge, the TV series.
Yeah, I saw that as well. She's not done a lot of stuff.
She's not, no.
So I was quite surprised by it, because I noticed on, what really stood out for me the first time I watched this, I really, really enjoyed her. I know she's, okay, fair enough, she's not a huge character in it.
Yeah.
But she's absolutely brilliant. And what kind of riled me slightly is you get, all the actors are named on the back of the box and what they've been in, but she doesn't get mentioned.
Yeah, it's a bit shit. She's a sort of key character in it.
She is, and I think she
doesn't have a lot of screen time right enough.
No, I think maybe that's why. But what she does have, she really.
There's so many heavy hitters on the cast list as well.
But it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The cast is insanity.
It's absolutely nuts. Let's talk a little bit about it. So yeah, basically they go on a mission and then it all goes tits up at the end. It goes mental when they get to the den of the troglodytes.
Yes, when they find Lily Simmons, well, they don't actually find her, they get caught before they get to her.
They get caught until they're dragged up a mountain by the armpits.
Yeah, well, caught / killed some of them.
Yeah.
And then you turn into, it's like a cannibalistic showdown, I think, probably at the end.
Yeah, totally a wild sort of, with elements of Predator involved.
Yeah.
That guy screaming with the boar tusk, a hell of a Predator. Crazy, like, bone whistles in the throat, embedded in the throat.
Yep.
I've lovely touched that.
It's a real left fielder. It takes you by surprise. There's no question about it.
And one of the things that I loved, and we'll come to the extras later, but when Zahler, the director, was talking in the extras, he actually said that his writing process, he just starts writing and then he gets surprised.
Interesting. Very interesting.
What a character, man. Only 42 when he filmed it. He's only 45 now.
But he got 42, that's his first film.
It's his first film.
So I was like, what the fuck have you been up to? And then, quite a lot.
Fucking shitloads. Absolutely shitloads. So, what was it he said? He'd had 21 scripts.
Yep.
Optioned.
Yep.
And paid for.
Yep.
In the Hollywood system. And none of them were made. I think it transpires that one was made in France.
Yeah, the one was made,
TV.
which actually, there was one made, and after watching this and then watching his next film, which has some relevance to this podcast,
yes.
I went back and watched the film that was optioned, the screenplay, and it was really hard to track down. It was like none streaming. I thought, could I buy it on Blu Ray? And it was like, not really, unless I want to pay an extreme amount of money for it. Yeah. So I ended up buying it off, I think it might have been Amazon, like on a pay-per-view. I just wanted to watch it.
Alright, just for a rental. Alright, nice.
Yeah, actually not even a rental, because it was only 50 pence more. 50 pence more to buy it. I was like, I'm just going to buy this.
So you got the digital download.
And I watched it, and it was quite disappointing.
That's probably because he didn't actually make it.
Yeah.
But so he's got started off as a cinematographer out of film school. Actually looked into that as well on IMDb to see what he'd been up to. Actually, a long time ago, we're talking sort of mid-90s, so he was a pretty young guy. He's only really a few years older than us, so like he'd have just been in his sort of early 20s probably then. You know, he's listed as doing a couple of shorts and a couple of features, but it's really like obscure independent stuff. So he was writing scripts for the Hollywood system, selling them, making money that way, but also novelists, writing Western novels and crime novels.
And a musician.
Did you manage to listen to any of his black metal stuff that he did?
I've not, but I was noticing the t-shirts he was wearing during the feature, or I suppose more of a featurette, or we'll get into the extras anyway, but he was wearing a Goblin t-shirt at one point.
Oh, nice.
And King Crimson, so obviously a bit of a progger. One of the things that really struck me about this film was the score. Which is very minimal, and it only doesn't really happen during any of the. I don't think it happens at all during any of the dialogue. And I loved it. It was so.
It is super sparse,
very unobtrusive, but adds beautifully. And then, oh shit, he co-wrote the whole thing as well. It's like unbelievable.
And I hadn't noticed the first time round that I watched it, but I noticed last night when I was watching. The song at the end, over the end credits, is fucking phenomenal. Just a sort of ballad about the film.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fucking brilliant. It's really, really sweet.
I mean, this guy obviously has many strings to many bows, has to be said.
Yeah, totally. And the sort of interesting that he just basically got pissed off at the Hollywood system not making his films and decided, fuck it, I'm just going to do it myself.
Yeah.
And it seems that the sort of main sort of producer, exec producer, was his manager as well, presumably for as a writer and musician.
Yeah,
and they've just got themselves together, got the script, and he sort of talks about how he was going to do a sort of really low budget gore film, and then basically his manager had said to him, "Look, it's not your strength. You're a Western writer. Why don't you do something like that?" Got it together, and I mean, basically the whole film, you can tell, has come together on the back of getting the cast involved.
Oh yeah.
And it seems that Kurt Russell was instrumental in the whole thing. Loved the script, loved his work as an author, and basically was on board, and then I think everyone else just slotted into place. And what a cast. What a cast. For your first film, it's unbelievable. But it seems to be made for under $2 million. $1.8 million was
insane.
It's bonkers.
I mean, I guess we're going to bring a lot of what he says from the special features into this because it's important to the chat. But one of the best things is, I'm not really interested in these big, beautiful shots and stuff. I'm really interested in getting close into the actors and stuff. But seems to have, almost by accident, made amazing, beautiful shots as well. And it's totally stunning to look at.
And there are some really amazing wide vistas as well.
Oh, there are. Just like stunning, man. And it's like, well, if that was a second thought to you, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'd love to see the breakdown for the film and like how it was all. I mean, props to the first AD on it for scheduling a film that they've just crammed so much stuff into. I know he said that he's only done. He sort of, what was it? He said the average was 3.5 takes per shot or something.
Yeah,
it's pretty low, and I'm sure he got in quite under that. As he said, they were constantly shooting rehearsals, which is the beauty of shooting on digital, actually, that you can just do that. You don't have to worry about wasting film. But I reckon when I was thinking about it, I was doing a little bit of sort of more reading into it. While I was watching it, I definitely recognised parts of the town from Westworld, and I started looking into it a little bit more. The other thing that piqued my interest was when the end credits came up, there's no locations people in the credits. I was like, I wonder what's happened there. I wonder if there's been a sort of union dispute or something. Looked on IMDb, none as well. And I think what's happened is because it's all been shot at the Paramount Ranch, which was built by Paramount as a Western set and is now operated by the National Park Service in America. But they, you can go and shoot there. It's the town's all built there and it's set up as a Western ranch. It's how they've managed that, so hence there's probably no need for any locations people on it.
Yeah. They
had all their locations on that location. I think they said they went on location one other place as well, but they had everything within the area anyway.
Are you feeling aggrieved at that?
I'm feeling aggrieved at that, but you can go and visit. You can actually go and visit there. You can go and visit the Paramount Ranch. So they shot Westworld there recently, but get this, the A-Team's also been there.
Right.
The Dukes of Hazzard, Death Race 2000, and House 2 I noticed as well. I've never seen House 2.
I like House 2.
But yeah, I mean, you can go to the National Park Service website to read about it, and they've got a list of everything that's been shot there, and the amount of westerns that were shot there. I mean, it seems to have fallen out of use in the late 60s into the 70s, but the amount of stuff that was filmed there is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we haven't gone too far into the synopsis of the film, but I don't think you really need to in a way, because the premise is pretty simple. It's what it is.
It's a simple premise, that's it. They go on a mission to save the woman. It all goes tits up at the end.
The actual story is massively sparse, but it holds your attention for that full 2 and a bit hours.
But all those relationships, all those characters, let's just sort of run through it then. Let's say Kurt Russell, absolute legend. We don't need to say anything to anyone on here. That's it. Enough said. Been in a shitload of westerns as well, so a shitload of horror films. As the sheriff, Patrick Wilson as the husband of Lily Simmons.
Yep, who's just had a bad fall and done something horrendous to his leg, which is
he's a cowboy.
Constant torture in this film.
Yeah, oh God, it's a great performance by him, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm always a little bit unsure of Patrick Wilson in my head. I don't really know why. I mean, he's got good horror chops anyway, doesn't he? I mean, he was Hard Candy, Insidious, The Conjuring.
Yeah, Hard Candy's a great film, actually.
Yeah, I've not seen that for a while. Classic entrapment film there.
Yeah, he's he's pretty spectacular in this film for me, Patrick Wilson. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, he is going to, obviously assist with finding his wife, but with, well, I guess it's a broken leg of some description. That's horrendous. I mean, one of the constant horrors is him trekking an untold amount. When they lose their horses. Horses are stolen, so he has to go on foot the rest of the time. The other guys have to go ahead of him because he's so slow and just in constant pain. And you can feel it, man. You can really feel it. It's a great performance from Patrick Wilson. I mean, he does that so well.
Matthew Fox. Now, I'm not really that aware of Matthew Fox's work. I mean, I think the biggest thing he was in really was Lost. He was also in World War Z, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's brilliant in it as well. He's great as this sort of horrendous character, really.
Yeah, he's interesting. I like him.
Sort of charismatic, murderous bellend.
Yeah.
Sort of
perfectly summed up there.
Dandy. Yeah. Who's had eyes on? I love that he's had. I love that simmering tension between him and Patrick Wilson as well.
Yeah, because he's always
had eyes for her in the past.
Yeah.
Richard Jenkins, legendary actor.
Yep.
Absolutely legendary actor.
Almost unrecognisable when I saw him, to be honest.
Considering he's quite an old guy, he's been quite heavily aged up.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, he's not an old guy. He must be in his 60s.
Yeah, but he honestly,
what an actor he is. I think he's just. He's one of the sort of really big things in it for me as well. I do have a little note of one of his favourite lines that I had in it as well when they kill the Mexicans, the guys that come out of the thing, and he says, Mr. Bruder educated 2 Mexicans on the meaning of manifest destiny. So Lily Simmons is great as well. David Arquette, obviously, he's not got a massive role in it. Sid Haig, brilliant. Sid Haig. He was in Lords of Salem as well, but also noticed he's in Keoma Rises, which is listed on IMDb as in production at the minute.
Okay.
Which is a sort of I wouldn't say it's a reboot. It seems to be like since everyone's old now, it's sort of a sequel to Keoma, being directed by Castellari. Special effects are all practical. It gets pretty gory.
It does get gory, and Richard Jenkins is very quick to point out in one of the extras that the effects were practical, even when no one asked the question.
Yeah, totally.
And he's right; they are fucking tremendous. And and we can talk about this.
Blood.
Talk about this because it's the film, and like the arrows were on zip wires.
Yeah.
So it was like impact, woof, actual proper impact.
Yeah.
And I love that. And apparently it was just a few digital retouches at the end, but everything you see on that screen is happening during the filming, which is fucking tremendous. Especially in, it's like, you almost think doing that stuff might be more expensive. You know what I mean? Or certainly more practically difficult at the time of shooting.
Yeah,
but God bless them.
Quite an effect when the deputy gets ripped in half.
Yeah, yes it is.
What a murder! Right, we just have a little chat about that. Holy fucking shit! It comes. What is it? And that's what was shown to me. That it's effectively spoiled the film for me the first time round. It didn't really spoil it, but I was just a bit of a niggle the whole way through the film that I knew it was coming. Absolute brutality. Scalped. Great scalping effect. I love a good scalping. Obviously, top-notch scalping. My top scalping ever is probably... see, a lot of people would say New York Ripper, but I'm going to go for Maniac. Scalpings in Maniac.
I think that's fair. That's fair.
Hell of a fucking Bone Tomahawk to the balls.
Yep. No balls left.
And... your scalp shoved into your mouth and then a massive spike hammered into it.
Oh God,
Jesus!
And you don't even really see it coming, to be honest. It's so.
It's just.
I mean,
so
in most films,
wild.
it's weird. It should be tonally odd, but it's not.
It's not. It totally works in this Western.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's meant to be there.
Yeah.
It's wild. Wild.
I mean, as we've kind of rambled our way through this, I mean, I don't know what to say about the film. I just love it. End of story. I can't, for all the reasons we've spoken about. I
think even if you're, it's almost like it's the easiest sell to genre fans, but also a hard sell at the same time.
It's a hard sell to me.
I know lots of people aren't too keen on westerns.
Hands up,
find
me.
that they drag a bit, but it just isn't the case with us at all. Well, I love a western, but
you know my dislike of westerns.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily a dislike. It's just
it's just not your cup of tea.
I have a very outdated view of what westerns are, I guess. And it was very interesting that the director went on record saying that he thought The Revenant was complete shit, and that also he was very not complimentary about Hateful Eight either.
Do you know what? I'm with him on both counts. I think. We'll never talk about either of those in this podcast, but I would say that The Hateful Eight could have done with the first half being cut out.
The first half, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you could have the film just with them rolling into the where the cabin is. Fine, you wouldn't need any of the backstory behind it. I don't think The Revenant looks amazing, looks absolutely amazing, and it's got some great bits in it, but it just falls flat. You've seen The Revenant, have you?
Nope.
Oh man, we should maybe watch it at some point.
No, well, not now. I know.
Not for this podcast.
I'll watch the bear attacking DiCaprio at some point.
Oh man, and there's a really good attack at the start, when they get ambushed by Native Americans, which is great. Really, really amazing scene. It's just got some beautiful stuff in it. But yeah, if you read the novel it was based on, and it's just not really a patch on it.
I mean, I struggle to pinpoint parts in this film that I love, because the whole thing was just a great journey for me. I just loved everything about it. Yeah. It looks fantastic. It sounds, that minimal score is fucking great. The left field cannibal madness, incredible. All the characters, fantastic. The acting, unbelievable. It's near to a perfect film for me.
Yeah. We don't give ratings on this, but I'd give it 5 out of 5 anyway.
Yeah, if I could give it more than 5 out of 5, I probably would. It's just brilliant. Should we cut to the adverts?
The Phantom ad break. Well, let's just take a break.
Or should we make an advert now?
No, I don't know what for.
Cheddar?
Buy yourself some tasty cheddar.
Well, why don't you do the music?
55% fat. Is it? Oh, the cheese is more fat than that, isn't it? It's like 80% fat.
No, it's like 40, is it not?
Is it?
I'm not really sure. Well, I tell you what. If you do the tune, I'll try and think of an advert. Cheddar. Good for the mind and good for the soul. High in essential saturated fats. Cheddar.
There you go. Right. You go get some cheddar. I'm going to have a piss. You'll probably have a piss. And I'll catch you in 5 minutes. Hi everyone, welcome back from that fantasy break. Yeah, well, you never know. Maybe we'll be so wildly popular that we'll have advertisers by stage.
Okay.
On to our next section, which is the Blu Ray review. John and I are all about the Blu Rays. And as you would expect for a film that was shot completely digitally 3 years ago, it looks absolutely fantastic.
Yep, looks the nuts.
And it sounds great. It looks absolutely fantastic. Flawless. Absolutely flawless image.
Yeah.
And loads and loads of low light stuff in it as well, which just looks amazing. I mean, you really are. I mean, it's one of the wonders of sort of digital cameras these days, I guess. They're able to shoot in such low light without it becoming just a total grain fest, if you know what I mean.
I think you have to be careful about your lighting as well and that kind of thing. Which they very much were. Because the lighting's really really pretty in that.
Really good work by the DOP.
Jeff Sandler.
Jimmy Giblets. Benji Bakshi.
Oh, you've made
I
that
wonder
up.
if he's related to Ralph Bakshi.
I don't know who that is.
Ralph Bakshi is a sort of famous animator. But no, Benji Bakshi. Top work by Benji. Don't know who he is. Don't know what else he's done.
Good work, Benji Bakshi.
Love his work though. Yeah. And the Blu-ray, so yeah, the actual like quality of the Blu-ray is like, you know, flawless, but there's really not much to say about it. I would say there's obviously no damage or anything like that, as you'd expect modern digital film. Interestingly, when you look at I think it has got good features. The one thing
it's decent.
It's decent enough. So the UK Blu-ray has a Q&A from the London Film Festival, and also has
hosted by the most awkward man in the world.
Yes, totally. And it's quite a weird setup as well. No chairs or anything like that. Just standing in front of the screen. It's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
There's also a making of documentary. It's about 10 minutes long.
I think that's an EPK.
It is an EPK. It is an EPK. Yeah, definitely. It's got, I mean, it's largely just proper EPK fluff. EPKs, if you don't know, are electronic press kits. So it's just stuff that's shot to get out when they're promoting the film.
For the benefits of the media and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, for sort of sound bites and easily digestible.
Yeah, so the only really two interesting ones are the Q&As.
Another Q&As from Fantastic Fest, which I think was the world premiere of the film.
What I did like about it is there was more than one camera.
Yeah.
By more than one, I mean two.
Yeah.
But it was quite nice to have that. But unfortunately, the sound is a bit.
The sound's not great. The microphones were not working for.
Well, I think it's like
certainly the start.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know if. You kind of guess if they'd had like a 2-camera setup, they would have hooked up to the soundboard.
But they're clearly running onboard mics as well, aren't they?
You
that guy walks past. You can hear
people rustling and stuff and fucking about in front of it, which is like that's obviously not in the picture. So they're obviously just So I don't know if they're on boards. I don't know. I don't know if they hooked up to the desk and it was fucked or whatever. But the sound is a bit distracting.
Q&As aren't really my favourite extras on these things. I think that
well, it's open to people in the audience, which is usually the big downfall.
Although the BFI one, interestingly, isn't open to the audience. It's completely on stage, which I actually like.
I preferred it.
Although there were some quite good questions. There were some quite interesting questions from the crowd. But I mean, as we know from our days at various horror festivals, half the time you get these Q&As, everyone's blittered.
Yeah,
you just get a load of absolute gibberish. The London, the one at the BFI Q&A is just Zahler up on stage with the guy from the BFI, and the other one
he's got his two producers, hasn't he?
Oh, he's got his producers as well, yeah. But the other one has the producers who don't really say anything in the Fantastic Fest one.
Almost nothing,
but
yeah.
the actors as well, or three of the actors anyway. We've got Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox, and Richard Jenkins.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there's good info to be had on both. Actually, when I sort of went to DVD Compare to have a look and see what was available on other Blu-rays around the world, and it has it listed as a tie between the US Blu-ray and the UK Blu-ray.
Oh, really?
UK Blu-ray, the BFI Q&A is an exclusive to the UK Blu-ray. The US Blu-ray doesn't have that, but does have a deleted scene.
A single deleted scene.
But I tried to find it on YouTube, couldn't find it on YouTube. Ended up tracking down word of it in a review on Birth Movies Death, actually, which in the review, in the comment section of that review, people are just like, I really wish there was a commentary for this. Oh my god. And I would second that. I'd love to hear a commentary on this, but interestingly, in one of the Q&As, Zahler himself says that he likes to keep things mysterious. He doesn't like to talk too much about the actual storylines. He thinks it's better to leave stuff unanswered for you to work out for yourself. But so the US Blu-ray, the deleted scene is an alternative ending. So it actually comes after the existing ending. And there's an additional scene after that where Lily Simmons is treating Patrick Wilson's leg, and Richard Jenkins tells her to take care of the leg, as a one-legged sheriff doesn't get respect, but a sheriff who limps has character. So obviously the whole setup's going to be that the happy ending, I guess. He survived. He's going to be the sheriff. Yeah,
the most interesting aspect of any of the extras in terms of content for me was the fact that they turned down a lot of offers to get the film made, where they would say, we want to cut it down to 90 minutes, we want to do this, blah blah blah.
Or they want to change the story, they want too much input.
Yeah, they wanted to hold out until they could get it made exactly, pinpoint exactly the way they wanted it done. And massive credit for that.
And what does he mention in both of them, I think, that what you see in that film was the first draft.
Insane. Absolutely insane,
of the film.
Yeah.
It's absolutely bonkers.
For me, that's the most interesting thing that came out of any of the extra stuff, is to hear that they're just like, nope, we're just going to sit here, wait it out until someone comes along and says, yep, we're going to make that end of story, whatever you want to get done. And they kind of think they have to do it themselves, I guess. And the good news is they made their money many times over. Yeah, totally. And the other thing with the Blu-ray is that it's absolutely dirt cheap. Yeah. I mean, you can pick it up for buttons. Something that I quite like, but I know probably annoys lots of collectors. My Blu-ray case is black. Mine too. Yep.
Yeah, which I like as well.
Mind you, I found mine second hand, so there's quite a lot of black stuff in mine.
Yeah, did you say you thought someone had shat on it?
I'm hoping it's just like chocolate crusts. I'm not 100% sure, but it also says gifted product.
Oh, it must have come from a charity shop then.
Really shitty, literally shitty charity shop. It's chocolate, I'm sure it's chocolate, probably. The disc itself... I'm not going to look at it. The disc itself is pristine, but inside is fucking... I don't know if you can even see that.
Oh god, that looks horrendous. I can't see that. Oh, Jesus.
And then just if you look to the... what for me would be the right-hand side of Kurt Russell's face.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is that? Hold on, has it got bite marks in it as well?
Possibly. I don't know what's got.
I think a child.
It's got a wee chunk out the back as well.
I think a child's been like that.
Or a dangerous adult. One of the two.
I think that was previously owned by the small child from Phenomena.
Oh God! Well, I'll keep it in that case.
So let's move on to our final. Our final feature, which is what would James Ferman think?
Interesting.
This is an interesting one, but
I've got my mind made up.
I've got my mind made up as well.
Yeah.
I personally think that he would be spinning in his grave.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Will I explain why?
Yes, let's do it.
Now, most of the film would not be a problem for him at all.
Yeah.
The problem is it's not in a foreign language. It's not black and white. When it got to the murdering at the end,
yeah,
the use of a weapon. He doesn't like weapons, really, does he? He doesn't like weapons.
No, but
I think how heavily he came down on any cannibal films or gore films at all. Mm-hmm. Seeing someone get literally split in half with a cow jawbone, like literally hacked in half. Would he be spinning his grave? I was trying to think what he would cut. I wondered if almost all of that scene would have to go. The scalping wouldn't be in it. He cut lots of scalpings. Mm-hmm. There would certainly be, if you saw, he didn't like repeat blows either, did he?
Not a massive fan.
You'd only get one blow to the bollocks, I reckon. And then I reckon it would cut way before they ripped him in half. I reckon you wouldn't get to see that at all. I don't think you'd even see the start of it.
But
Or you wouldn't see the scalp getting put in his mouth, or the spike getting driven in.
No, I'm not going to change my mind on this.
Right, okay. I'm interested to see what you think then. This is the first time we've disagreed on this.
Well, yeah. I think all the stuff you've said is completely valid, but I think what he would do is he'd be reaching for the scissors.
Oh, he would. Well, yeah. What? Okay, right. So actually, do you know what? You're right. Spinning in his grave would be actually the film's not getting released. It's getting rejected.
It's just getting out. It's out. Gone.
And
it's
that's
not.
That is not. He is going to be able to cut this. He would be reaching for the scissors. He would be. I'd be donning his cutting glasses as well, wouldn't he? He'd have his glasses at the end of his nose. He'd have the scissors out. He'd be sitting with a reel, just looking through, just snipping here, snipping there.
Yeah, I think he would. He would probably keep in impact, but cut away anything after that.
Yes,
and take away, as you say, repeat
blows.
Yeah, so like maybe one blow. Yeah. I think this film would be heavily cut towards the end.
It'd be massively cut. And it would be like, as was the case when we were growing up through the Ferman era, you just get to a bit in a film where it would just suddenly go. So you'd be expecting something, and it would just suddenly go. It'd be this like mishmash of like really like obvious cuts, and then suddenly there'd be someone talking in a room. You'd be like, "What the fuck
just happened
there? What?"
Yeah, I think scalping would be initial incision, then the rest would go.
Definitely initial incision. You would not see the hair getting pulled back. You wouldn't see the scalp coming back.
Obviously not. The cutting in half, again, would probably be, I think, bollock tangling might be all together out. I think he could still get a flavour, for him, I think he could get a flavour of the scene by cutting quite a lot of bits out.
Yeah, I reckon that maybe what you'd get is you might get
because at the same time it's obviously an extremely well made film.
Yes,
it's
and which he would recognise when he was discussing.
Yeah, it's not a full scale nasty. It's beautifully acted, brilliantly shot, but I think you would see. You know what? I think the cuts might even amount to as little as 30 seconds.
Maybe, but it'd be but still, that would be a massive amount in this film.
It would be. Don't get me wrong.
It would. Yeah. I think the interesting thing with a lot of the video nasties as well is that there were like a lot of those films that were banned that were on the DPP list. When we actually got our hands on it to watch them,
double penetration list.
No, Director of Public Prosecution list.
Sorry. sorry.
That's a different list you were working on at the time.
Cool.
I just remember the amount of times that I ended up sitting through like an hour and 20 minutes of a film for a little bit of gore at the end.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what the fuck? This film was absolute bullshit. But a lot of them didn't have the merit. Do you know what I mean? Didn't have the
as we've said. I don't know if it was in this podcast, maybe the previous one. I think it maybe was the previous podcast, but you very rightly said you would sit through 90 minutes, 80 minutes maybe of complete tedium for 10 minutes of madness.
Yeah.
And I think in the old days, this film, if you took all the great acting, the beautifully shot stuff out of the equation, you'd be sitting at the same thing.
Yeah.
But there's no tedium involved because it's beautifully acted, beautifully scripted. But I could see that film being made 30 years ago and it taking a very different turn altogether by someone who was just if a hack was involved, then But I'm gonna rest reaching for the scissors on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back from the spinning in his grave. And I'm gonna agree with you on that one. I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna say that he would be reaching for his scissors.
Yeah,
old Ferman,
and they would be used. There's no question.
Totally. But I'll tell you what, he'd be getting an angry phone call from Mary Whitehouse saying, "What the fuck are you doing, mate?
Why is this?
Why is this filth? Why is this sick filth?
Absolutely,
being allowed out?
Absolutely. Well, she was. God rest her stupid soul.
Oh, totally. God. So there we are. Bone Tomahawk.
Lovely.
Loved it. Thoroughly recommended to everyone. And which leads us to what's the link for our next rambling film?
And it's
our journey.
This is our first different link, I think. Our first very, very direct link.
Yeah, and it is Craig Zahler, the director. We are going to watch his follow-up feature, which is Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Oh, yeah.
Which I have not seen either.
You've not seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh.
It's a first-time viewing.
Oh,
First-time viewing.
If you don't love this film, I'll be absolutely amazed.
I'm absolutely fucking stoked to watch it. I mean, this is another one that since it came out, everyone that I know that's seen it has been like, oh, just fucking jizzing off about it and saying that I need to get it watched. So yeah, I can't wait. I really can't wait to watch it.
Great, let's do it as soon as possible.
Excellent.
And Excellent. I think the Ferman rating might go up a notch in this one.
Oh, lovely. Excellent. I'll tell you what, I will try and come up with a promotion for you on the boat.
Thank you. As long as so I don't have to be giving out hand jobs to random crew.
Well, you probably will, but
the random crew being you,
me. But you'll be getting paid more. So
well, okay.
You can go to Letterboxd and search for the Captain's Horror Meltdown, and you'll find a list of our upcoming films, what we've watched so far, and what we're going to be watching. So you can get a little bit ahead of the game there if you want to follow along with us. It's also tagged with TCHM, so you should be able to find us on there. I will try and verify that's definitely the case because I wouldn't know. But anyway, thanks for listening, and until next time, happy viewing, I guess.
Yeah. Cunt. No, I didn't mean to say that. They're all lovely.
Right, that's it. Cool. Happy days.
Yep, we will also join you. We'll be back for the old Cell Block 99. Lovely.
Yeah. Brawl Cell Block 99.
Can't wait to watch that shit again.
Yep. Brilliant.